Okay, so you want to own a Formula One team. Find a factory, hire the engineers, paint the car, show up on Sunday. Here's the problem. For most of this sport's history, that picture was a lie. For decades, owning an F1 team was one of the fastest ways for a rich person to become a less rich person. Teams folded. Owners walked away with nothing. And yet today, the cheapest team on the entire grid is worth over $1.5 billion. The most valuable one is worth around $6.5 billion. Same sport, same 10 garages, a completely different business. So here's the real question. If this sport was quietly bankrupting its owners for 50 years, why is everyone suddenly fighting to get in? The answer starts with a single rule most fans have never heard explained properly: the cost cap. Every team is capped at roughly $135 to $215 million a year, depending on the season. Here's the part nobody tells you. That's not the team's actual budget. It's the ceiling on one slice of it. Add it all back, and a competitive team's real spending lands closer to $250 to $350 million before a single point is scored. Why does it cost this much just to exist? Because a Formula One car isn't built the way your car was built. There's no assembly line. Roughly 5,000 individually designed components, each one simulated, wind tunnel tested, and hand-built. And every race weekend, a team moves nearly 50 tons of equipment around the world, costing roughly $14 million a year just in freight. So where does all this money actually come from? For places, prize money, worth up to 14% of a $1.5 billion pool for the top team, as little as 6% for the bottom. Sponsorship, deals worth $50 to $100 million a year for the biggest teams. Manufacturer backing, if you're lucky enough to have one. And smaller side income, wind tunnel rentals, merchandise, hospitality packages sold to the wealthy. Here's the trap almost nobody sees coming. These four income streams are wildly unequal, and not because of performance. Ferrari, for showing up every season since 1950, has reportedly collected a flat bonus worth over $60 million a year regardless of where it finishes. One recent season, Ferrari finished fourth on the track and still out-earned the actual championship winner by more than $100 million. The scoreboard and the bank account are not the same thing. So why would any billionaire buy into a system this unequal? Because the team was never really the product. The team is the advertisement. But none of this explains the jump from teams losing tens of millions a year to being worth billions. For that, you need the cost cap itself. Before 2021, spending had no ceiling, and the richest teams simply outspent everyone else into bankruptcy. Once spending was capped, every new dollar of revenue stopped funding an arms race and started flowing straight to the bottom line. Suddenly, this wasn't an engineering war anymore. It was a normal, bounded business, and normal, bounded businesses are valuable. Here's the twist that separates the winners from everyone else watching from outside. Winning barely matters anymore to the people who actually own these teams. A mid-table finish inside a profitable, billion-dollar franchise can be a far better financial outcome than a championship inside a business still bleeding cash to get there. So is it worth buying into this sport today? If you can get a seat, because there are only 10 and almost none come up for sale, you're not really buying a race team. You're buying one of the rarest media franchises on earth. The car was never the business. The seat at the table always was.